Hi, I'm Apithavarasa, as you may know, and I'm going to be presenting to you my independent study unit of The Fugitive'S Baby by the wonderful one and only Kass Ghayouri.
Kass.
So, as we can see here, the plot graph can be applied to this story. The exposition is that a woman is trying to immigrate to Canada with her son to reunite with the patriarch of the family, but they are sadly unsuccessful. The conflict is that she decides to enter Canada illegally by crossing the border. The road trip all leads up to the climax where their van gets caught in a skid on the road, and it all falls down when a mysterious man helps to get their van back on the road to continue their trip. And it all wraps up nicely when the family finally happily arrives in Canada, yet they still have some trials to face. So, point of view or perspective, as I've seen here, is written in limited third-person perspective. The narrator knows the thoughts of some characters, such as the mother, otherwise known as the visitor, but not others, like the father, or the man with the southern accent, or the daughter at the end. It's significant to the novel as it invokes pathos in the reader. And it would have been more or less the same had the mother been the narrator. A quotation from page 83, rewritten in the mother's perspective. Our journey did not end here. We had to drive for another 2 hours from the Niagara border to our home in Toronto. So there's really no difference if the narrator was omniscient, if the narrator was an external character. Had the narrator been the mother or her guardian angel, wouldn't be any different. The trip from America to Canada is symbolic of the freedom that the family longs for, and it's very suspenseful as the readers hope for the family to arrive in Canada, and that's why the reader would read more of the book to see if they actually arrive safely. The sense of place is very minimal, as the second half of the story is dedicated to describing the family's journey, and it's one of the most effective falling actions in the history of fiction. The story would be entirely different without its sense of time and place, and the element that would be lost would be the pathos. So, the characters were very well written in this novel. We have the mother, otherwise known as the visitor, the unnamed protagonist who is heavily concerned with immigrating to Canada to reunite with her husband. Then we have the father, the unnamed deuteragonist, who wants nothing but to be reunited with his wife and newborn son. And finally, we have the baby, who is the unnamed newborn son, and there are no character traits revolve around him as he's a newborn. The imagery is very strong with this one. The vivid descriptions made the story easy to visualize. The strongest image was the road trip to Canada, for the descriptions made the readers feel as if they actually were inside the van driving to Canada with the family. So there are a lot of symbols here, mainly having to do with religion, such as the mother talked about God, but Canada is the largest nation in the world, and it's portrayed as a euphemism for heaven in the novel. The road trip is also symbolic of purgatory. For those who are unfamiliar, purgatory is the period of afterlife where those who are ultimately destined for heaven have to be cleansed from their sins before they can finally pass through the gates. The mother will stop at nothing to arrive in Canada, even if it means entering illegally. She's destined to arrive there. The book relies on situational irony to foreshadowing. When the mother's not accepted for legally immigrating into Canada, readers know that she is in trouble. So what does she do? She takes the decision to cross the border illegally. That instills fear in the readers that she will eventually get arrested. The decisions the mother makes creates some paranoia that she'll get in legal trouble, and it motivates the reader to read more of the book. And to readers' surprise, her journey to Canadian citizenship and getting her immigration status is ultimately successful. Thank you for watching.
Well done.